Like most towns, the City of St. John's is responsible for supplying residents with clean, safe water. This job isn't always easy. In the late 1990s, the city's water contained high concentrations of radium, which government regulators said had to be removed. Voters approved borrowing the money to build the water treatment plant. Now, the city must improve its water system again. Engineering studies have concluded that the best way to improve the city's water system is to develop a new well and install a new water transmission line. Let's take a look at the current water system. It consists of 2 wells, an 8-inch, 13-mile-long pipeline, and a treatment plant. Well number 1 belongs to the Arizona Game and Fish Department and can pump up to 330 gallons of water per minute. Well number 2 belongs to the city and can produce up to 480 gallons per minute. Together, they just barely produce enough water to cover basic demand during the summer months. In fact, the council has asked residents to reduce the frequency of lawn and garden watering to avoid shortages during summer months. A 35-year-old asbestos cement transmission line brings the well water over the hill from Concho to the St. John's treatment plant. The capacity of this line is 650 gallons per minute. Even at maximum flow, this line is insufficient to meet the needs of St. John's during the summer. The water treatment plant, located on the southwest side of town, is state-of-the-art and almost new. The city wrestled with water issues for years. Comments like, "It's going to cost too much," and "If we're careful, we can get by for a while," and "Our senior citizens on fixed incomes can't afford the extra expense," were compelling reasons to delay the improvements. But St. John's just can't wait any longer to make this investment in an essential community asset, the city water system. The council is exploring every option that would pay for these improvements to determine the best course of action. St. John's needs additional water and a way to get that water to the treatment plant. During the summer peak demand, water users consume 937,000 gallons of water per day. The city can currently produce and transfer a maximum of 900,000 gallons per day. With only modest growth, the community will soon need 1,250,000 gallons per day during peak use. The problem is evident. The 2 current wells just can't produce enough water. The city's one and only pipeline has trouble transferring enough water to meet the demand. Pipeline failures have increased. Even the fire department is concerned about low water pressure and volume being inadequate to meet standards. So, St. John's needs additional water resources and a larger, more dependable way to get that water to the treatment plant. The question at this point is not what needs to be done to improve the system, but how to pay for these improvements. The estimated project cost is about $5 million. This includes project engineering, design, oversight, purchase of land and construction of a road, the development of a new well, and the installation of a new higher volume transmission line. The city has already been approved for $481,000 in grant funding from the EPA for a new well. However, it must provide $416,000 in matching funds. Additionally, the city has received a $35,000 technical assistance grant from the Arizona Water Infrastructure Finance Authority to help pay for the preliminary engineering, environmental review, and project design. Meanwhile, the city is seeking additional funding from the USDA Rural Development Program as well as the Water Infrastructure Finance Authority. Feedback from these agencies indicates that the best St. John's can expect is to receive almost $2.8 million in grants and $2.2 million in low-interest long-term loans, which would be secured by dedicated revenue sources. If this best case comes through, St. John's could use sales tax or water rate increases or implement a secondary property tax to pay for the proposed water system improvements. Benefits of using property tax rather than sales taxes or rate increases is that, if you itemize, you can deduct the cost of the property tax from both your federal and state income tax calculations. Also, less funds need to be collected because lenders consider property tax a more secure source of funds. In 2008, the City Council asked voters to approve a new secondary property tax to help pay for the improvements. The question failed by a narrow margin, but the water system still needs the improvements. The City Council must decide if we will have to increase sales taxes, increase water rates, bring property taxes back to the voters again, or use a combination of all of these to pay for the improvements. For a lot of reasons, the St. John's water system needs to be improved, and the city must make the improvements. It's important that you understand what's being proposed and participate in the decision-making process.